Hi, welcome to my channel. Are you an artist who is planning to move abroad? Or maybe you just moved and you're thinking how to start my art career or how to continue my art career in a new place. Or maybe you are not an artist yet, but you always dreamt about this and you think that maybe that would be the great time to start be an artist. If the answer is yes, this video is for you. I will be painting watercolor painting and I will be talking about starting a career, an art career in a new country after the relocation. My name is Marta Nowicka. I'm visual artist, painter and printmaker, but also I am intercultural coach and trainer, and for the last 15 years I've been supported people relocating to other countries. So I want to share with you a few tips on how to start your career, both from my experience as a coach and also from my personal experience after moving to the US from Poland. So first thing is the great reinvention. You are like a blank canvas. So after moving abroad, we have this ability of reinventing ourselves. We can create our life. And our identity usually, in our own country, we are known as a colleague, brother, father, sister, colleague from work, and our identity is well defined. When we are moving abroad, we can create our new identity. We can be whoever we want to be. So you are like a blank canvas when you are moving abroad, and you can decide that you will be an artist or will be continue being an artist, but you can start introducing yourself the way you want. And this is what I actually did after moving to the US. So when we lived in Poland, I was working as a coach and trainer. I was also doing art, but I treated it mostly as a hobby. But I decided that when we moved to the US, I will try to build my art career as my second career. So when we moved here, I started introducing myself as an artist, and I started, promoting myself as an artist. So I recreated or reinvented my identity. So my first tip is don't be afraid of losing a little bit of your old identity and enjoy creating your new one when you move abroad. Second thing here is art community. So when you are moving abroad, it's really difficult to build a new community around you. And it's very important considering that being an artist is a very solitary job. You work in your studio most of the time, you don't see other people, and you are in a new environment and you need to somehow meet new people. So when I moved to the US, even before I moved, I decided to look for local art communities, local art classes. And even before we moved to the US, I signed up for some art classes. So a week after we moved, I already started going for art classes. And actually, we chose place for our living, a place where I knew that there is a strong art community, because it was important. So the hard truth, whether you're an artist or any other expat, is the community will not, come to you. You need to do the first step. You need to be proactive. So what can you do? As I mentioned, sign for local art classes. Even if you are well skilled, you can always learn something new. Go to the opening of exhibition, go to the museums, go to the art fair, see what is happening around. The third thing is about learning your new environment. You may be very skilled, you may be very talented, but you need to learn how to be an artist in a new environment. How to promote your art, how to speak about your art, and especially if you're moving to a country when you speak in your second language, it's really difficult. So you need to learn your environment. So be a student of your new environment. Be like an anthropologist. Go to the art fairs, but not as an artist, like an anthropologist, and see what people are showing, what is selling, where can you see the red dots, what is the price tag range, how much people charge for the art. Go to the museum opening, go to the gallery openings, and learn your new environment. And sometimes you will have to change a little bit your attitude. You will have to change the way you promote your art, the way you speak about your art. For me, it was quite challenging because I moved to the US from Poland, and the way I was brought up was, to be humble, to be modest, not to brag about my achievements or successes, not to overly promote myself. And this is not the culture in the US. In the US, people need to talk about you. You need to talk about your art. You need to be seen. So I had to overcome those challenges. I had to overcome those difficulties, and it's still challenging for me. So my third tip is learn your environment, observe, ask people, maybe join some local business group, and learn how to promote yourself. The fourth thing is showing your art. So you have your art in your studio, and now where should you show it? When I moved here, I even brought some artworks from Poland, so I had already maybe 10 paintings with me, and I created new ones, and then what to do, where to show it. So my first show was on my porch. I will show you pictures here from that. I advertised it on our local Facebook group, and on that day I displayed all my artworks on my porch, and few people came. Actually, I sold, I think, 2 or 3 paintings that day, and I also sold 3 paintings as a follow-up. So that was my first show. So try to start with a small shows, group shows. Don't wait for a big solo show organized by the top tier art gallery, because it's very difficult to get into a well-established gallery if you are not known. But there are a lot of cafes or libraries or other places where you can show your art. Apply for shows, apply for community shows, apply for community projects, art community projects. And then you can apply for some bigger events like art fairs or bigger, more important shows. I think a year after the move, I decided to apply for a big art fair in Miami. And surprisingly, I got in. And it was definitely too late for preparation. It was 3 weeks before the show. So I had to prepare everything within next 2 weeks, framing my artworks, preparing everything, preparing myself. It was really tough. But I managed to do that, and I have learned so much from that art fair. And since then, I continued applying to bigger art fairs, and I exhibited already in 7 or 8 big art fairs in Miami, in New York City, in Jersey City, and in Dallas. So my fourth tip is start small, look for opportunities, and also don't be discouraged by rejections and by lack of sales. It may happen, it takes time. It's just a matter of, trying more and showing up. Another tip is that art could be a healer. So during the adjustment process, you may experience those difficult moments. You may experience moments of culture shock. I always tell my trainees that it's completely normal. Everyone is experiencing difficult moments during the relocation. So you can feel sad, you can feel homesick, you can feel anxious, you can feel depressed, you can feel that you don't want to do anything, you want to withdraw. You might under-eating or overeating. Sometimes you may feel like a child because you need to learn new things from scratch, and it's completely normal. And in those moments, art can help you. Both ways. You can paint something, and just the moment of creating art will make you feel better. I'm sure you know that. But also, you can let's say, start like journaling your journey via art. Even before we moved to States, I started creating paintings that conveyed my emotional states before relocation. On one hand, it helps you to manage your emotions. On the other hand, it helps you to remember those moments in your life and create some kind of like a visual diary of your journey. So my fifth tip is use your creativity as a tool to overcome challenging moments and to record your journey. The sixth thing is your expat advantage. Your story could be your strength. So for the long time, I was worried that my Polish background and my accent just made me an outsider. I would try to soften my accent to create art that felt more American, whatever that even meant. And then one day, a curator I met at a small show asked me about a motif in my work, and I explained its connection to my Polish background, and her eyes just lit up, and she said, that's your story. That's what makes this interesting. So that leads me to my final tip. Your background is not your weakness, it's your superpower. You can create art that is very unique, very personal, that tells your story, and it's interesting to people. And people can resonate with that. So lean into it. So my final thoughts, moving abroad and starting art career or any career from the ground up is not easy. It's going to test your courage and your belief in yourself every single day. But this journey of living abroad is about so much more than a career. It's about discovering the person who you are, and the person who always meant to become. So the key lessons I learned for building a career abroad were to being like a blank canvas and reinvent yourself, proactively build your community, stay humble and curious about your new environment and learn how to operate within it, to show your work even if you are scared, and finally to own the story that makes you unique and different. I hope you enjoyed that. Please write in the comments, do you relate to that? What do you think about my thoughts? Maybe you could share your own story of reinventing yourself after the relocation to a new country. And if you like this content, please, like, subscribe, and check my other videos when I share my art processes in printmaking and mixed media, or my book reviews. So thank you for listening and see you next time.